How do you manage unreliable cleaners? What would you do with a cleaner that keeps letting you down? And how would you deal with the client that has been let down? Today's very big Q. Let's do the A. Let's go. Hello, thank you for being here today on Q&A Thursday. The question we have today came from the Facebook page and it asks how we manage unreliable staff and what we do with the cleaner that keeps letting us down and how we deal with that client that has been let down. First off, that is a really good question, so thank you very much for sending that to me. While I'm on that note, can I quickly say if you have a question about your business that you would like a second opinion on, you would like a different opinion on, or just a sounding board, please do contact me by any of the means on social media below, and also sign up for my newsletter where you can email me directly and I will email you back. So, today's topic, what to do about unreliable staff. Well, first of all, you have to have a recruitment process. Now, I know I'm sounding like a little bit of a broken record, but when you have a process in place, like we have spoke about over the last couple of videos, it starts to cut down on problems like this. So for example, I have shared with you my recruitment process that I use in my cleaning business. And I have 3 different stages that a potential cleaner has to come through. I have the telescreen, I have the actual interview, and then I have the trial clean. With these 3 stages, that already starts to test the commitment of the potential cleaner that wants to come and work for my business. The second thing I would recommend is to reference your potential applicants. There's so many people that do not reference. When you are taking on somebody, send out at least 2 professional references and 1 personal reference. You definitely want to send a reference to the latest person that they've worked for. If somebody has been on benefits, or they've been out of work, or they've been poorly, or for whatever reason raising children, and they are returning to work and don't have a professional reference that can cover them over the last 5 years, I would look for at least 2 personal references, ideally not people that are related to the candidate. And also I would want a reference or some confirmation of character from any agency that person has been involved in, an external agency. Third most important thing to do is make sure that you are logging all sicknesses and all absences. In my cleaning business, I actually have a sheet that sits on the front of the personnel file and it's called a communication record. Every time a member of staff has time off sick, it is logged in that month in the communication record. We also complete a return to work form. So what that is when your cleaner returns back to work, I make the cleaner fill out what is essentially a self-cert to say why they were sick, and I get them to also sign it. This is kept in their file. The reason that I would suggest to do this, and the reason it's helped me greatly, is you are able to detect a pattern in your cleaner's absences. So for example, you might have a cleaner that suffers from Tuesdayitis, and you notice that they are having 2 to 3 Tuesdays off every month. In that case, I would sit down with the cleaner first of all to make sure there's not a problem with the clean and to make sure there's not a problem with the cleaner. If the cleaner cannot give me a viable reason for why they suddenly fall sick on a Tuesday, or their children do, or their dogs do, or their budgie does, then I would remove that clean from them and I would not replace those hours. I would not be willing to replace those hours until the cleaner had showed me they were committed enough to the business with their other clients for me to ramp their hours back up. With regards to the client, I would firstly look to send another cleaner. If you do not have the liberty of being able to send another cleaner, if it's just you and 1 member of staff, for example, I would look to rebook that clean in the same week or as close to their cleaning day as possible. If you cannot rebook it, if you do not have the staff, then as a matter of courtesy, if I have to cancel a clean, I offer the client a 10% discount which is applied on their next month's invoice. I try not to let that happen very often at all. As a cleaning business owner, I would rather personally go and clean the house myself than ring up a client and tell them we're going to cancel. So I would say exhaust all options, including a different cleaner, including a different day or a different time, or even a weekend. Even if the client says no, and sometimes the clients will come back and say, no, it's okay, it's fine, I can wait till my next clean. On your behalf, it shows willing that you were determined to try and fix and solve the problem and trying not to be an inconvenience to your client. I hope those few tips have been of use to you on how you start to deal with unreliable staff. It all comes down to the process. If you've got a process and a way of tracking and monitoring, then you've got evidence and proof and leverage to be able to fix the problem or remove the employee. Because there is nothing worse than a cleaner that keeps letting you down. I would also advise you to get rid of a cleaner that is like that, because you will spend all of your time dealing with one specific cleaner and one specific cleaner's problems and issues, and you will go on to neglect your other clients and your other members of staff. Sometimes you just can't turn somebody around. The old adage of you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink is certainly very true when it comes to employees. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and don't forget to come join the newsletter list so that you can have direct email access. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for being here. Have a very lovely weekend, one and all, and I will see you Tuesday. Bye bye.